All right, Lions fans, let's talk some football. Let's talk some Detroit Lions. And I want to talk on the subject of how many years does Matthew Stafford have left? And this is shouts out. This is a definitely shout out to Lions on the Prowl. They put up this question, and I made a response to it. Oh, I responded towards it, and but it left me with this thought. I really don't expect the Lions to. Let me say it this way: it's a thing, with the Lions fans that you get a player that have some success, i.e., Matthew Stafford, Glover Quinn, Darius Slay. Uh, let me get another one. Anybody else that they have somewhat success. Let's say that they made the Pro Bowl. Not all pro, but they made the Pro Bowl. Not all pro. The Pro Bowl. Or they had some or they booked some records, some numbers in the record books in a Detroit Lions uniform. And all of a sudden they get deemed as like this greatness. Like the standard of or the ceiling to do it better don't seem in sight. So it's like we try to hold the fan try to hold on to that standard for as long as they possibly can. So with that being said, I went ahead and made a response and I replied like it doesn't matter how long Stafford is here, his replacement is in the wings. His replacement is in the development, and that replacement is a run game. And what I mean by that is the years that the GM or the franchise, the GM and the coach depended on Matthew Stafford to carry them is shifted. If you notice, since Quinn got here, he has been trying to take the reins out of Stafford's hand. Not to say Stafford is incompetent, but actually, if you notice, Stafford has been improving every year of his career, and he made the dramatic jump or the drastic jump when when Calvin Johnson retired. And so from that point on, you have seen him mature, uh, due to off-field situations as well as on-field situations. He became more of a well-rounded quarterback. I get that, but at the same time, what I believe Quinn and Patricia is trying to do is take the responsibility off his hands, which I believe this is where the Lions organization failed Stafford for years, and I guess this is the reason. I guess this is the point that the guys at DSA is trying to point out about Stafford is that they gave him too much. They delegated him too much responsibility, and he had to carry this team. He had to carry a team that didn't want to be carried. How about that? And at the same time, he wasn't ready to carry a team, let alone a team that didn't want to be carried. So, and as a franchise as well, as a whole. But if you notice what they have been investing, uh, if you notice that Quinn, what he has been doing for the last past, well, since he arrived at in a position as general manager, he's changed a lot of stuff. But Patricia is going to go with more of a run game, and Stafford at this point of his career, he is the icing of the cake. And what I mean by that, he is exactly what this team is going to need to get to the Super Bowl. They don't need the Stafford of old throwing 5,000 yards. They just need Stafford just to be mature and be a leader. He has never been a leader like he's going to be this year because he have actually something to lead. In years before, he really didn't have anything to go with. Okay, with the exception of what? Calvin Johnson? Give me something else. Give me something else that he can game in and game out that he can bank his hat on, or he can rest assured that this person is going to have his back. Give me somebody outside of Calvin Johnson. And once Calvin Johnson retired, who took over that position that no matter whatever happens, I can always guarantee that this player has my back. He never had that. This is why my vote of confidence is towards the Quinn and Patricia era getting to the Super Bowl is because this team is finally in position to be a team, offense, defense, and special team. They finally are putting together it, and it happened like unexpectedly how they did it. But they put together a team, and we're gonna see it this year, 2020. But I wanted to say that about Stafford that I give him 2 years. I don't anticipate him playing the full 16 games. I believe that they are grooming their the next quarterback and Blau. I believe they are. And Blau reminds me a lot of Tom Brady. He reminds me a lot of Tom Brady. And of course, somebody gonna say he's not Tom Brady because Tom Brady got the number. Tom Brady didn't have the numbers when he first took his first snap in the Patriots uniform, particularly when he had to take over when Drew Bledsoe went down. He was not Tom Brady at all. So he had to develop. But I say the same thing for David Blau. Now, I could be wrong. They could go in a different direction with, I guess, a more, I don't want to say advanced quarterback if it's available, but a more, seasoned quarterback or developed quarterback. It could go that direction. But I'm looking at David Blau like how he carried himself last year up under the situation that he was thrown into. He had very little practice and so forth. He was thrown in the fire, and he just have like the maturity to develop. He has the maturity to progress, and I see that. Oh, and I definitely saw that last year. I don't care about arm strength. I don't care about the measurables or the measurements and all that good. I don't care about the tangibles that the average fan care about. Can you see the field? Like your cerebral. Can you use can you go past what you see? And that's where that actually makes that makes the coaches great is when a player can execute what they drew up and even go beyond what they drew up. The coach will come back to the player and say like, "Wow, that blew me away because I drew it up this way, but I didn't expect that defensive player to play this gap or play this area, and you were able to use what you have inside of you to get him to go one direction, but at the same time, you knew you was going another direction." So that's what Tom Brady was able to do, you know. And I put emphasis on him and a guy like Joe Montana. They was able to do that. I don't think they was really scouted for or known for having that ability to actually to adjust on the fly and to rise to the occasion of the stage, the spotlight. And that's why I like Mr. Blau. So with that being said, Lions fan, to note, I would say that Swift is going to have he's going to be the offensive MVP, and that ties into the point of me saying why I don't I think the reins of Stafford is they're letting him go on two fronts. He's ready to get ready to call it a career or go to a team that he possibly can win a title that he don't have to do as much at or if not do anything at all. And at the same time, the way that how mature, wow, this is what makes him great. He wasn't just going to abandon the team. He's making sure that they have the next guy in position or the next, I guess situation to take over his situation. So for the days of Stafford throwing 5,000 yards and throwing the ball, having to throw the ball all the time is over. And I say that because of Mr. DeAndre Swift. I absolutely love this guy. I he is he is what the Lions have never had, and I'm gonna say that even with Barry Sanders. See, Barry Sanders is like this exceptional freak of talent because he does things that you can't measure. You can't predict. That's all instinct. That's gift. That's all who he is. So Barry Sanders is an exception to the rule. But outside of that, every other running back that they have had, I don't see the same tangibles that DeAndre Swift can bring. DeAndre Swift checks off all the boxes. Now, a person may bring up that he have a injury history. You playing football, okay? That's going to happen. Now, it's a matter like how does your body adjust, adapt, and heal, and so forth. All right, you're playing in a physical sport, so it's going to knickknacks or injuries is going to happen. It's a matter like far as like how much will look for example. Look what Adrian Peterson did. I think he tore his ACL or MCL. I don't know which one he tore. He tore something. It was a really serious injury. And I believe the following year he willed himself back, and I think that was the year he got 2,000 yards. If I'm not mistaken, somebody correct me. But the point of what I'm saying is, if you have the will, there's nothing that will stop you, and that's what I see inside DeAndre Swift. He is the best thing that ever happened. I ain't gonna say ever, but he's the best thing that happened to the Lions, particularly their road going to the Super Bowl this year. With that being said, Lions fan, all right.